First question is, when do I get paid? Now, rent is due on the 1st, late by the 6th. We will make an owner disbursement on or before the 10th of each month. So let's take the month of October. Rent is due October 1st. It is then late for residents on 12 a.m. of the 6th. We then will make an owner disbursement directly into the owner's bank account on or before the 10th of October. If the resident does not make an on-time rent payment, then that can be delayed. There will be communication discussing the late payment. However, if you choose to completely avoid this hassle of non-payment, you can opt for our owner assurance package. We'd be happy to talk to you about that service with you. How will I receive my rent payments? So when we disperse our owner payments on or before the 10th of each month, they come directly to your bank account. As an owner client, you'll fill out our new owner onboarding form where you'll put all your information, whether it's tax related, bank accounts, preferences for the property. All of this information is stored in our form, which we then upload into your owner portal. This will allow us to send money directly to your bank account and you don't have to worry about checks getting lost in the mail. How much can I rent my property for? This is a great question. It's a question I don't have a crystal ball for yet. I am developing that. However, I can assure you that we will comb the market as well as our own properties that we manage in the proximity to yours or are similar to your home to try to price it as best and as close as we possibly can to the market. Now, I can't make any guarantees for what that price will be. However, we can take data and create that decision to allow you to make the most informed decision for the rent price. How is the management company compensated? This is a great question. When we receive rent from you as an owner client, we then will deduct our management fee that was agreed upon in the property management agreement with you directly from the rent amount. Now, this typically happens between days 5 and 7 because we have to prepare your disbursement. So you'll see a reduction in the cost of management as well as any maintenance costs that may have incurred in that brief time before we send the disbursement to you on or before the 10th. How do I change managers? This can sound like a lofty task, like you're changing bank accounts, but I can assure you it's going to be a lot less of a headache than changing your bank. For us, all we need is our existing lease documentation if there is a current resident in the home, the move-in documentation, any security deposit, any pet deposit, any maintenance requests that are both active or previous. Essentially, all of the documentation for that property and the resident, we will need. We do have a handy checklist that our owners will have access to in order to make sure that nothing is missed, and we can create a swift transition from whatever the current management situation is to Paydos Property Management. How do I cancel my property management agreement and services? Now, I know you'll never ask this, but if that time ever does come and we need to sever the property management agreement, we make it extremely easy for you. If you would like, you can either email or send us a written notice stating that you will be canceling the property management services as of X and Y date. We at least need 30 days notice. This allows for us to close out your books and make sure that everything is tidied up on the accounting end before handing over services completely. And if you have any guarantees that are a part of your program, then it will be another 45 days from the cancellation for us to pay out any unpaid, prepaid, or management fees that we need to reimburse back to you. How do you find good tenants? This is a very broad question. There's a lot that goes into it. The most important thing when you are trying to find a good resident is speed. Now, what do I mean by speed? When I'm talking about speed when it comes to finding a good tenant, it is responding to their inquiry within minutes, not hours, not days, not weeks. You respond within minutes because the most qualified residents have options. They have many options available and they are searching. So how can we try to capture their interest as quickly as possible? It's simply speed. You respond within minutes, you get a showing scheduled within hours, hopefully within the next day or two, given proper notice to the existing residents if it's occupied for that rental. We're then showing that home. We then have very quick follow-up on getting that potential resident an application. We hope to be extremely quick up front in getting that application, but then slowing down to process the application fully to make sure we don't miss anything based on what we believe and perceive that resident to be. This is how we've been able to stack the chips in our favor to get residents that are willing to reside in the property for an extended period of time and pay rent each and every month. What is your screening criteria? Now, this is a rather long document because we need to make sure we're in compliance with the state of Washington. So I'm going to give you a summary of what that criteria currently looks like. If you would like, you can follow the tab underneath residents to then see what their qualifying criteria is. The qualifying criteria is going to be no evictions that are currently or previously reported, no existing or current bankruptcies. There's going to be no criminal record, credit score above 675. Income is going to be 2.5 times the rent amount, or 50% rent to debt to income ratio. So this is going to be the rent amount plus any debts in a ratio to their income. That has to be lower than 50%. So let me say that again. Their income either needs to be 2.5 times the rent or 50% with a rent debt to income ratio. All previous landlords have to have positive history. If any of these cannot be met, then we will send the application to you as an owner for an exceptional approval, or we will look to the residents to get qualified co-signers. How do you perform showings? Showings are performed in person. This is contrary to the industry where there may be an electronic lockbox on the property, they have a digital code, the resident shows up without anyone there, accesses the code, gets the key, enters the home, tours themselves, puts the key back, and then leaves the home. We think that this is a complete mispractice and that we need to have someone with that resident at the home because it allows us to begin to interview that resident. We want to understand where they're coming from. What are their goals? What do they hope to accomplish with the house? Can we help them beyond the house? Are they looking to purchase the house? Are they moving here from out of state because of employment? What's their story? We want to get to know that resident on a deeper level than just the application. This precious time during a showing allows us to do just that. Can I give the final approval for applicants into my rental home? We don't allow for owners to give the final approval. There's only one instance where an owner can give some sort of approval for an applicant. This instance occurs when an applicant is about to be denied. If an applicant does not meet our criteria, we'll send the applications over to our owners, and if they choose to make the exception, we allow for that. If an applicant is approvable, we're going to go ahead and approve them and begin the lease signing process. How many days of vacancy can I expect during a unit turnover? Now, when a resident chooses to not renew and they're going to be doing a move out, we hope to list that property ASAP. This can sometimes be 150 days, 120 days ahead of time before that lease expires. We typically bake in a couple of days where that unit will be empty. That allows for the proper repairs to be made as well as cleaners to go through. However, we're doing a pre-move out assessment with our contractor to go through to see exactly what the condition of the home is to give us a better idea. For the units that may take a little bit longer, we're obviously going to extend that time by 7, 10, 14 days, given the extent of potential damages upon move out of that resident's home. We want to make sure that we give ourselves enough time to fully complete the rent-ready repairs to get that home back up to standards for the new resident upon move-in. Who do you use for maintenance? All of our contractors that we utilize for any property that we manage are licensed, bonded, and insured. These folks have a vendor agreement in place with us, and we want them to perform the work because we've vetted their work. We know that their work is some of the best in the county, and we can trust that the repairs that they make will last decades, not just days. Can I do my own maintenance? Yes and no. We allow owners to do any of the maintenance that they would like on a vacant home. So this is going to be right before lease up. It'll be upon a move out of an existing resident. Owners can choose the vendors that they would like to use, coordinate with them, whatever they would like to do for that vacant rental, so long as it's up to our rent ready standards. Now, if the rental unit is occupied, then we need that owner to be licensed, bonded, and insured, and also be held to the standards of our vendors. So this is going to be maintaining a response time that is allotted for scheduling. For all of our contractors, we require them to reach out to residents to schedule the solution within 36 hours. If that can't be met, then we'll be moving on to a contractor to make that repair that's needed. Now, if it's an emergency repair, we don't allow our owner clients to perform any sort of emergency repairs. You hired us to take the calls at 3 a.m. We're not going to wake you up at 3 a.m. to make that repair. We're going to go ahead and get that done for you. Do I have say in any repairs? Yes, there is some say that owners have in repairs. For the non-essential, non-emergency repairs that we deem not quite necessary, if they're up and over $500, we'll come to you as an owner client for an approval. Now, some examples of these are going to be installing a new fence, repairing a fence, changing of paint colors, some of those things that aren't necessary, they're non-essential, they're non-urgent. We'll go ahead and come to you as an owner for an approval. If it's less than $500 and or we deem it necessary and urgent and towards the integrity of the home, we're going to go ahead and make those repairs, and then you will be billed for that repair and see it reflected in the owner portal or on the statement. Will I have the ability to choose my own contractors? We do allow owners to choose their own contractors. There's a couple of requirements that we need to have for all of our contractors that we utilize for any properties that we manage. It's very simple. They need to be licensed, bonded, and insured with a vendor agreement in place. We have set standards for all of our contractors in order to perform the work at our standards to maintain the integrity of the home and our relationship with those residents. So they need to hit those 4 criteria points, and if they do so, then we'd be happy to utilize them for your property. Will you manage my apartment complex? Yes and no. We will only manage apartment complexes with less than 4 units. Anything up and over 4 units, we have some folks that we would rather you work with because we believe that they would perform a better service for you. Why do we make this hard set requirement? Now, these 2 properties, 4plexes and less and 5 units and above, are valued at a different proposition. The 4 units and less are going to be valued on the existing condition of the home, comparable to market properties. Units that are 5 units and above are going to be valued on a performance basis. That's going to be how little expenses to how much income they're making is going to be the value. For us, we want everything to be consistent throughout our properties that we manage. And this is only current in this time. It can change for the future, of course. But as of right now, we want to only provide a very niche service to our owners, similar to Chick-fil-A. You walk into Chick-fil-A, what's on the menu? It's a chicken sandwich, bread, chicken, and pickles. That's it. We hope to have a similar philosophy in management, that we only serve single-family homes in the city of Bellingham that are unfurnished for rental owners that want to be passive in the management process. When do I receive my monthly statements? Monthly statements are cut on the 10th of each month. The statement will go for the previous month from the 1st till the end of the month. and you'll receive a notification in your email promptly on the 10th of each month. Whether the 10th falls on a weekend or on a holiday, you'll receive that statement on the 10th of each month. Do you charge a maintenance markup? If you don't know what a maintenance markup is, in the industry of property management, some management companies will choose to charge a percentage of the total invoiced amount on maintenance that's performed on the property, regardless of the amount in the invoice. Now, we have the philosophy of maintenance being first and foremost in anything that we do. We want owners to keep their property up. Therefore, we are not going to charge a maintenance markup to avoid disincentivizing our owners to keep up their property. When will I be notified with repairs on my property? We report results. We will not pester you with menial things throughout the maintenance process, whether it's the plumber forgot his wrench or a project is delayed by a half of a day rather than a full day. We won't come to you with any of the milestones in the maintenance process, but we will come to you with the result of what's gone on with some repair. You will also receive the completed invoice with any work order in the statements. Or if you'd like, you can check the online owner portal for any updates that may have gone on within that work order. How do we handle an eviction? Now, if we ever get to the standpoint where we have to perform the eviction, we have trusted third-party attorneys that we would recommend to you for that eviction. We'll start it if the resident does not make payment within the grace period and day 6 rolls around. We post notice, the 14-day pay or vacate notice that's dictated by the state of Washington. It's then posted to their door, certified mail, regular mail, it's emailed to them, all of the ways that the state requires. Once those 14 days are up and we don't have rent or a payment plan in place, we will then recommend that you visit one of these trusted attorneys to then pick up where we have left off in the eviction process to make sure that you do not miss anything when it comes to the eviction. We want those residents out as soon as possible. How many rental properties do you manage? We manage enough properties to stay occupied while not sacrificing the quality of service that we're able to offer all of our owner clients. How do I get the most out of my rental property? This is a multifaceted question where it will take into consideration the existing condition of the property, existing residents, the future condition, what the market currently is for that property, where it's currently at in the market, and where we can get to. Now, all of this can be answered if you fill out the link below. It's a 5-minute questionnaire that allows you to input all of your information about the property, which gives us the details that we need to create a custom personalized report for you that will allow us to conduct the RentMax audit and give you everything that you need to make the property decision.